The Nigeria's power sector has been struggling for decades with electricity policy enforcement, uncertainty in gas supply, and constraints in its transmission system. All these challenges have resulted in frequent and long power cuts that put a strain on the economic growth of the country. As Africa's energy market undergoes transformation, stakeholders said the Future of Power Africa Conference offers a prime opportunity for industry participants, entrepreneurs, and investors to connect, exchange ideas, and influence policies defining the sector's future. The event promises strategic dialogue and actionable solutions, setting the stage for significant engagement across policy, private, and entrepreneurial landscapes.
But we're expecting that everyone who's participating as individuals or as companies or stakeholders across the entire spectrum of the power space will get first an enlightened view of the current state of the sector. They would see the reality of the new regulatory shifts that has happened and how it unlocks opportunities for both players, investors, and consumers in the power space. We are hoping that everybody will soon see that power is our responsibility across board, right? And protecting our power infrastructure and assets, it's a responsibility of everyone, right? So the narrative is being reshaped. There is no need for anyone to, if you have a better power use culture, you do not have any reason to begin to tamper with meters or bypass meters. So, but we are hoping that by the end of this seminar and subsequent conversation, people will be better educated on how to manage their power and how to protect power infrastructures within their space.
If we're trying to do this from a more centralized standpoint, it's then difficult. I think decentralizing what we have in power has created the avenue for more and more businesses to spring up, more independent power projects. Some people already generate their power privately, and some people do that scale. If you look at the Redemption Camp, for example, that's a city, that does power itself. So we already see this happening in silos. To have it more organized and more captive power projects for critical assets that need the power that is required, I believe that it's a welcome idea. However, there's a lot of education that needs to go on the consumer end, where they understand what these things would cost in detail and why they cost so. And also there's mutual agreement and understanding, because customers and stakeholders all have to work together to make sure everyone is happy and pleased with the transactions. But every unique power situation has the reason why. Maybe an infrastructure issue, something is bad in that area. Maybe historically the people just don't pay. And then these are actually private businesses that have payroll, that have employees, and they need to manage their business as well. So sometimes these things can happen. I believe NEC is doing a great job to hold our discos accountable. Full credit to them on the work they're doing with our discos, both here in Lagos and in other states as well. And everybody is committed to the goal. The goal is, how do we deliver more power to people? If people would be as objective, at least for most places, power has really improved. Especially with the new administration, a lot has changed, right? It's not going to be perfect in one day, but it's a going concern. It's something that people are committed to, and hence the reason for this conference and these conversations, where people come together to look at these issues and speak to them. If I'm giving you power and you're not paying, somebody else has to pay for that, and then what one man takes and doesn't give value for will cost someone else what they ought to take, what they ought to get. So these are more like, it's a more nuanced conversation. There's no general situation. Some people are legitimately displeased because they're not getting the power that they need, or promises have been made and they haven't been met. But most times when we investigate, these are more like unique situations where something more is going on.